Hey everyone! So today's video is going to be very different from anything that I've done before, but I think it's something I'm going to enjoy, even if it doesn't go quite as I planned. So, to kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing and why, basically ever since I got the ruby ficus plant, so actually let me just pull it over here. So basically ruby rubber plant, ruby ficus, variegated ficus, I've always loved the pattern on the leaves. And I thought someday, I think it would be nice to paint or watercolor or do some sort of art myself that would basically just be painting one leaf on a sort of canvas. The other thing you should know about me is that I really enjoy face painting. So I kind of got into face painting maybe like 4 or 5 years ago because I thought it was a lot easier on Halloween just to paint my face up like something. I wouldn't have to worry about kind of buying a new costume every year. I could use the same face paints over and over. And then when we were all locked down, I just kind of started painting for fun. Again, it isn't something I do very often, but kind of once in a while if I just feel inspired, I'll go ahead and paint my face. And I'll throw some pictures up here to kind of show you what I've done so far. I'm by no means a face painting expert. It's just something I really enjoy doing. So then I thought, why don't I combine the two of wanting to paint a ficus leaf, but also do it with face painting. So that is my plan for today. I'm essentially going to just kind of look at some of these leaves for inspiration and paint myself from here up in a sort of ficus pattern. I do have my face paints here, so these are the things that I'm using, just some Snazaroo face paints that I got on Amazon. I've had these, like I said, for a few years now, so I have some different colors. They're not gonna be the exact same color as the leaves, but again, I'm just kind of using that for inspiration, and I'll just work with what I have. So that's what's gonna happen today. Again, I don't know if what I have in my head is actually going to be replicated that well on my body, but we'll see either way. And I also don't know how much I'm gonna kind of talk through this video versus just kind of speeding up the process with music. I'd say typically if I'm doing this and it's something where, you know, I'm doing it for Halloween or just for fun, I usually throw in a music or podcast and kind of zone out. It is something that just kind of relaxes me a little bit doing art, even if it's painting myself. So again, I don't know if I'm gonna talk most of the time going through it. I might throw in a little bits as far as like kind of what I'm doing, but might be listening to podcasts most of the time. So let's go ahead and get started. So first I'm gonna find a leaf that I like, and I'm not gonna create an exact duplicate, but just kind of follow the patterns. And let me see if I can easily show you, but this is the leaf I'm gonna follow because I think it has a good mix of the dark and the light green, and then the pink around the edges, whereas some of the leaves might have a lot more of just like one type of green, so this one has a lot more darker green. So I'm gonna loosely follow the pattern on this leaf, and I'm gonna start with the red vine in the middle, just going right up because I think that'll be the easiest way to then kind of place the rest of the pattern. So I'll go ahead and get my red face paint out and just start going for it. So here's my center line right now. It's a little bit thicker than I want it to be at the top, so I'll probably thin that out when I add the green paint and the pink paint for the pattern of the leaves. I'm gonna thicken out a little bit down here to have that contrast. Then I'm also going to avoid my mouth for now because I'm talking. And then once I'm kind of near the end, I'll then paint my mouth. Same thing with my eyelids because when I'm blinking, the paint will transfer. So I'm gonna save that for the end as well. But I'm going to kind of get this the size and shape that I want, and then we'll start adding the green pattern probably first because that's closest to the vines, and then I'll add the pink around the outside. I've gone ahead and grabbed a little hand mirror because I realized looking into this lens, I don't think it's quite as easy as if I have this little handheld mirror here. So hopefully I can use it without it blocking the camera. So that should be good. So next what I'm gonna do is start dipping into the darker green. And what's kind of interesting about this pattern of the leaves is it does kind of look like a flat paintbrush just kind of stroking along the edge. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do with this paintbrush here, is get it in the green and then just kind of follow the patterns that I see on the leaf. My eyebrows are always a bit hard to cover because they are very dark black and a little bit thick. Okay, so I like the amount of the darker green that I have on right now. So I'm gonna switch to this more neon green, and I'm hoping there's enough of a contrast between the two. If not, I'll just darken this up with like a shadow, or maybe mix a little bit of black paint, or maybe brown paint with the darker green and just go over it. I'm also gonna do some shading and highlighting at the end as well, but let's see if there is enough of a contrast for this to do some of the lighter areas, and then I'm sure I'll be going back and forth between the different greens that I have. Oh yeah, I think that's definitely good enough of a contrast. Okay, so I think I have the two different shade of green general patterns done. What I'm gonna do next is take the pink and fill in around the outside of the leaf, like the ficus, and then I will go in with like smaller brushes and see if there's any details. I actually think the light green managed to cover my eyebrows better, so I'm gonna try another layer of dark green here as well. If not, maybe I'll just switch that to light green, but so far, here we are. Here we go. I think I'm done. I could continue adding detail, I think, forever, but I've just shaded in a bit of the stem. I think it looks pretty cool. Let's bring in the plant now. So again, this is the ruby ficus, and you know, I think I fit right into it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this at least slightly entertaining. It might be something I do again if I find a leaf pattern that I think is really cool. Actually, maybe the Dieffenbachia that I have, which has some really cool spotting variegation on it. Or if you think there's another leaf I should paint on myself, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.